Good evening, everybody, and welcome to day 4, week 5 of ALYFE Connects, our very first virtual-only lifestyle event brought to you exclusively by ALYFE Group. This evening, we are delighted to bring back live music to the schedule, and we are even more delighted to welcome a very special guest to help us do so. Joining us all the way from Australia, but who has been a very familiar face on the Malaysian music circuit for the last few years, Cassidy La Creme is with us to give us a rousing rendition of a few cover songs in, you'll be surprised to hear, different languages, but not surprised at all to understand why she is so popular. Cassidy has been doing amazing work on the scene, whether it's performing, recording, or even as a travel host and beauty style icon, I think it's fair to say. So get your questions ready for her, because we're going to be delving into her journey through the entertainment industry, as well as Cassidy performing some songs for us, of course, and a quick fire Q&A at the end. So please do get your questions ready. But for now, please help me welcome Cassidy. Good evening.
Hello. What a lovely introduction. Thank you, babe.
Of course, Cass. It pretty much writes itself, I think. It's just it's all that you've done all the hard work for me. All I've got to do is say it out loud. You've said it. You've done all the setup.
Thank you.
How are you, Cass? So you're in Australia right now, right? You're in Melbourne. Is that correct?
I am. It is 3 degrees where I am, hence the fire.
Ooh, is that a real fire? I thought it was like a YouTube background or something, but it does look kind of.
It's a gas fire. It's keeping me warm.
It's I just haven't seen a purple fire for a long time. It's kind of Hogwarts. I quite like it. Hogwarts, but modern. It's cool. 3 degrees though. I don't think many people watching in Malaysia will know what 3 degrees feels like. So, and at this time, I suppose it is coming towards your winter, I suppose, at this time of year, middle of May and whatnot. So how are things over there? How's the lockdown been for you? How's the situation over there?
It's been all right, actually. I mean, I'm very fortunate. My parents live in the countryside. They're not quite in Melbourne. They're an hour out in the mountains, which is why it's so cold here. But we have a beautiful house. We have a big backyard. So when I first came back, I jumped on a plane back to Australia the first day of the MCO, and I had to go straight into 2 weeks quarantine at home.
Ooh,
but
at least
I
you were
loved
at
it.
home.
I loved it. Yeah, I've been in quarantine for 2 months now.
You and me both, Cass. And I don't know, I wasn't really enjoying it at first. I think now it's starting to get to me a little bit. But, I've kind of enjoyed the time at home, I've got to be honest. And,
well, it's only natural. You're going to go in waves.
Yeah, true. Such is life, I suppose. And how has it been? How has it been for you, kind of creatively? Now, I know when it comes to sort of your life, your work, your life's work, I suppose, on the entertainment scene, on the stage, as it were. So, and you're very used to being out and about, performing and what have you. But it seems anyone who's been following your Instagram, which, by the way, I'm going to plug down below, of course. Anyone who's been following your Instagram can see that I think you've been having a bit of fun, like recording some videos with your sisters and whatnot. You've got a little backing troupe there. How has this time been for you creatively? Have you been able to sort of? Are you getting more into the songwriting side of things? Like, what are you working on right now?
Well, it was actually really like traumatic for me, I guess, in a sense, when the whole COVID-19 thing happened, because I was just like in the process of about to release my next single, which fortunately is coming soon. But that was the hardest thing for me to leave, because I was just about to film my music video. So I had to throw everything out the window and just grab a bag and leave.
Oh no! So that was going to be released from KL, from Malaysia, was it? That was
it was like all set up with this like big, huge production. Like it took me almost a year to pull it together, like because I had such a big vision and I just had to let it go. But since I've been back, to answer your question, creatively for me, it's been awesome, productive wise at least. It's been great. All the things, like a lot of people, it's really strange, but my life looks very social and out there in Malaysia on Instagram. But generally, if I don't have shows, most of the week I'm home, sun up till sundown, working on my own, just like editing, and I'll be editing and contacting clients and all that stuff. So for me, it's not a huge change, but being around your family just gives you this, I guess, comfort that it's just allowed me to sort of blossom creatively. So there's some good stuff on the way.
you found that safe space to create within. Well, that's
Yes.
beautiful. You've got your support network around you. That must be, you know, you've got that
This
kind of,
is my support network. My new cat.
oh, she's fluffy. Or is it a he?
She is fluffy.
He is
She
fluffy.
just
Oh my
lays
God.
everywhere and she wants to be cuddled all the time. So yes, she's very
Do you know, I
distracting.
think that sounds, that kind of sounds like most of us during lockdown, you know? That's that. I think it's been the case for most of us during this time.
What is
anyway,
it? The viral TikTok video of everyone touching themselves and crying. Have you seen it?
No, I haven't, and I'm kind of glad because that shit sounds depressing. Like,
It's very
I've seen
depressing.
a few viral TikTok videos, you know, with differing opinions on a few of them, but I've not seen that. I'm kind of glad I haven't. I think that might set me off. I miss humans too, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I haven't dared try it myself.
No, it's. I mean, things are slowly. They've lifted the MCO slightly over here in Malaysia, so things are starting to go somewhat. I mean, I can't say back to normal, but you know, people are going back to work and whatnot. So we'll see how that turns out. So tell us, Cass, if you don't mind, for those of you watching at home who aren't quite familiar, maybe exactly with Cassidy and her story. She's based in Melbourne now, and that's obviously where you're originally from. But you've called Malaysia home for the last few years, and you've been making quite an impact on the music scene in that time. But I think people will be very curious to know how this all began. Like, what brought you to Malaysia in the first place?
Well, strangely so, I have always been a professional performer straight out of high school. But I was in theme parks and I was doing Marilyn Monroe, which led me to Universal Studios in Singapore. I was the original Marilyn for 3 years. And
Wow.
Marilyn there didn't sing. So I started working with bands on the side with local musicians. And I made it a point when I lived there that I was like, I'm not just going to hang out with the foreign performers. I'm going to make an effort to hang out with locals. Like, you know, it makes your experience so different. And it resulted in, what's that?
So yeah, 100%, and it gives you such a different kind of exposure, such a different kind of experience, and such a different kind of insight into the untapped creative scene. You know, that's nice. Exactly. It's nice. Good to hear.
Yeah, and see, you can totally like get it. Not a lot of people get it, but you've got to immerse yourself in the place that you're in. And my band friends dared me to sing a song in Malay. No one was doing it at the time; it had never been done, and they were like, you have to sing a song in Malay. Mind you, I didn't speak any Malay except for bad words that they had taught me. And, you know, it was just like, I was like, I can't do it. I'm terrified. Yeah. You've got to learn the bad words first in any language. But they dared me. We put it on YouTube and here we are 8 years later.
8 years this was. Wow.
Yeah, it was 8 years ago. I was living in Singapore. And then after 5 years, I moved to Malaysia.
So the song completely blew up. I think you had well over like a couple million hits easily. The song really went viral, didn't it?
Yeah, my Facebook had 1 million. My YouTube had 1 million. Era FM, they had 2 million on theirs. Like, it was just like everywhere. And this is back when everyone used to rip everyone's videos and just like post it. So it was crazy.
Wow. Well, I think you know what my next question is going to be, of course, Cass. Well, no, 2 questions. This is a 2-part question. Right. 2-part question. A, what was the song? And B, can you sing it for us?
I can. Whew.
That was coming.
Of course. I will never live this song down, but luckily I love it. It's called Ombak Rindu. So it was their like hit movie at the time. It was their theme song, and I was too scared to sing on my own. So it's actually a duet normally. And so the guy that I was singing in a band with at the time, Earone, we did a duet of it.
Cute. Well, I mean, I can't help you much with that. I can't help you much with that part. So I think you'll have to take this one. I don't know whether you can do the guy's voice too. But, you know, sorry, Cass. My Malay is just not as good as yours.
If I can do it, you can. It's all right. You said the name correctly, so you're already on the first step backwards.
Good. Progress. That's what we like to see. Small victories. Good. Take it away.
Small victories. That's my whole thing. That's how we got here today. All right. So this one is called Ombat Rindu originally by Hafiz and Adira. All righty. I hope you guys enjoy this one. Tuhan, tolong lembutkan hati dia untuk terimaku seadanya, karena ku tak sanggup, karena ku tak mampu hidup tanpa dia di sisiku. Tuhan, aku tahu banyak dosaku, hanya ingat kamu kalau dukaku, namun hanya kamu yang mampu membuka pintu hatinya untuk cintaku. Malam kau bawalah rinduku untuk dirinya yang jauh dariku, agar dia tidak kesepian, selalu rasa ada cinta agung. Hujan bawa air mataku yang mengalir membasuh lukaku, agar dia tahu ku tersiksa tanpa cinta dia di hatiku, hanya mampu berserah. Moga cahaya tiba nanti. Tuhan, tolong lembutkan hati dia untuk terimaku seadanya, karena ku tak sanggup, karena ku tak mampu hidup tanpa dia di sisiku. Done. Thank you.
You know what, Cass? When you sing it like that, there's absolutely no doubt in my mind as to why it went viral in the first place. I mean, you sound just like, I know. What am I like, eh? But seriously, like you sound so
sweet.
Oh well, you know, I've been doing this hosting gig for a while now. I'm getting used to kind of complimenting people. So honestly, you sound like you sound like, I mean, Malay is not like the most difficult language in the world to learn, I will admit. But I mean, I can't. I mean, I've not learned it. But still, to pronounce words isn't always as you'd expect, and certainly singing them well is like a different task altogether. And so, like, but you sound just like a local when you sing it, and I think that's got to be a big reason why it went so huge. So from when this was released, then what, like, how did it snowball? Were you getting kind of a lot of requests from people to come and perform here, or were agents getting in touch? Like, what was the process that happened next after this went so big?
Well, it's been a really interesting journey, and none of it has been typical, if that makes sense. The first song was like this big boom, but social media was new back then. I didn't know what to do with it. And, you know, you start getting a lot of people popping up being like, I want to manage you and blah, blah, blah. And we straight away, crucially enough, I got nominated for a music award for this cover. Like, it was insane. But then after that happened, I moved back to Australia and it all just sort of went away. And then it was just like a hobby for me.
Yeah. I said, fame is that fickle beast after all, you know, like.
Exactly. Yeah. You've got to know how to capitalize on it. And for me, it was just like some fun thing that happened. It wasn't done out of strategy. So for years later, I just continued to make a cover every 6 months or so, just out of fun. And I made some good choices, I guess you would say. Like I did a cover of Frozen, Let It Go in Malay, and that went viral. And then I did a Raya song at the right time, and that went viral. So yeah, it was funny because it took me a few years to actually get to Malaysia itself. I had record label offers, but I didn't have show offers. But then I got a few big shows. So I got like government shows that would fly me over. So that was really cool. And then when I moved to Malaysia is when it all changed.
Sure. I mean, those government shows must have been quite something. I mean, the pageantry there must have been awesome, and I'm sure they, I'm sure they would like decide themselves to see you perform. You know, like here's this Marilyn Monroe looking lady singing in our language. That's probably about the most unique thing I can think of as far as the live music performance that we've had on the show so far. So I think that's awesome, Cass. And then from that, like, but you put a lot of. I mean, it's fair to say, and it's clear to see rather that you put a lot of effort and energy into, and like the point you made earlier about immersing yourself into the culture. Like you now speak the language very, very well. You've even done some work on like on TV, like some travel hosting stuff, or am I right? Like you involved in a couple of those.
Yes, so I've done some hosting, and I've even just done my first acting job in a TV series, KL Gangster, but it isn't out yet.
Okay. Oh wow. Okay. I think someone I know was talking about that too. That looks pretty cool. Was that the one that they shut down? I think if I'm right, they shut down like around like Jalan Sultan Ismail and all of the city center. They shut down the road so they could film like a car chase scene or like a shootout scene.
Probably.
And if I'm right, like that day, like some videos started going around WhatsApp, like started going viral around WhatsApp. You know how they do. And there was like a shootout taking place, and everyone was like, "Oh my god, like KL is under fire!" And it turned out that it was just this scene being filmed. So I mean, if it's the same one, then I can't wait to see it because it looks pretty exciting. But that must have been kind of cool.
It was so much fun. I was like super Marilyn-esque. It's very my role is very I guess very me. So it's very much my stage persona. I'm a gangster, so it's going to be really cool. But it was such a cool experience, and the cast was really nurturing and welcoming. So that was good.
You're just that badass naturally, aren't you, Cass? You just showed up. You weren't even acting. You just showed up, did your thing for a few hours.
Just one take off. No.
One take off. You didn't even know you were on set. This was just your life. I love it.
Yeah, I can't wait. Floating by.
I can't wait. I think that's going to be very cool. Do you know when that's coming out? When can we expect to see it? I imagine it's been delayed a little bit because of all this, but do you know when we can expect to see it?
Unfortunately, I don't. It was meant to be out. It's an iFlix series. So, it's kind of just pending, I guess.
Well, fingers crossed we'll see that. Now, I was wondering, because obviously the covers that you've done, the covers that you've mentioned so far, and indeed your learning of the language has been very like Malay driven. But obviously, as you know, Malaysia, this is what makes Malaysia so wonderful, is that it's a very multicultural place to be, and there's a lot of different languages. So my question is, like, have you picked up any Chinese songs for that you do covers of, or that you perform as like a little party trick? Like what's the deal with that? Have you learned it? Because Chinese is much more complicated language, and certainly again one,
Oh
and
yeah.
because it's so tonal to speak, let alone sing. So I can only imagine how difficult it must be to sing. So tell us a
Yes.
little bit about that. Do you have any Chinese songs that you do?
I do 2 Chinese songs. I have like one slow, one fast, because I've been very fortunate that I get a lot of work at the corporate scene. So, you know, people bring me in to get the party started, and yeah, that's a must-have. You got to have some Chinese, some Mandarin, or some Cantonese in your repertoire. But it was very difficult to learn.
I bet.
Yeah.
Like a much more unforgiving, I think, when you're dealing with a language and a tonal language like that. It's a different ball game.
Yes, and you definitely but you still have that appreciation from the people, even if you get a little bit wrong. There's a bit of leeway there, because they're just like, wow, you made the effort. So yeah, it's very nerve-wracking though when you sing in another language. But I think because I started singing opera, of all things, when you learn opera, they teach you have to learn to sing in like Italian, German, French, blah blah blah. So I think those are the skills that made me just pick it up a little bit easier. So I've brought it into this.
Wow. And you know what? I would love to hear it. I was going to say, you know what my next question is going to be, don't you? And so you beat me to the punchline, Cass.
Well, you wanted to hear all my Rindu, so I assumed you want to hear this one.
You assume correct.
Yay. Well, this one is from, have you seen Crazy Rich Asians?
Do you know what? I actually haven't. I've seen like I know. I've seen like snippets of, but I just, for some reason, I mean, there was just such crazy hype, and rightly so, because it's putting us, you know, it's putting this part of the world on the global stage, as it were. It was the first major Hollywood production, first all Asian cast, and so on. So huge props to the film and everything itself, but like, just the hype, like it's kind of it's because honestly, fundamentally, like it's not really my kind of film, and so I didn't really want to go see it just for the hype. And then before I knew it, like it wasn't playing anymore, and I don't know, I just got lazy. Malas.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I watched it online after it left the cinemas, but this song stood out to me, so I was like, I must learn this, and I've performed it many times since. It's come in handy. All right. Let's see. I hope my mouth can get around the words, because it's a quick one. All right, let me get it ready. Are you ready?
Oh, as I'll ever be. Far away.
Let's do it. Whoa. Whoa, yo. What y'all need? What y'all need? What y'all need? I need ways to move your line. Whoa. What y'all need? What y'all need? What y'all need? I need ways to move your true line. Listen to your mama and you never will regret it. And if anybody wonders, you can tell them that it's ever. The only thing I know is that I never can forget you. I've been longing for you, baby, ever since the day I met you. Got you where I want you. You're never gonna let you get away from me. Oh, I'm the girl for you, and so you better start to face it. If you ever lose my love, you know you never can replace it. I think it's time for me to start to give you some loving, carrying a torch for you that's hotter than an oven. It's time for you to give me a little tender loving, baby. Hold me tight and do what I tell you. Whoa. What y'all need? What y'all need? What y'all need? I need ways to my boots or to lie. Whoa. What y'all need? What y'all need? What y'all need? I need ways to my boots or to lie. She's woken up. Whiny, I'm the girl out for you, and so you better start to face it. If you ever lose my love, you know you never can replace it. Think it's time for me to start to give you some loving. Carry in a torch for you that's hotter than an oven. It's time for me to give you a little tender loving, baby. Hold me tight and do what I tell you. Whoa. Why y'all? Why y'all need? Why y'all need show? She out shows and I need way shimmer boo, and so I.
Wow, that was fast. That was, in fact, that was so fast it sounded. That was so fast it sounded Chinese.
Oh yeah. Never know what I'm singing.
Fooled me. That was really something. But you know what though, and I'm not surprised that you can pull that off because, and you know, this is something I'm willing and prepared to share with the audience at home, is that Cassidy and I have shared the microphone on more than one occasion at a karaoke night, and I think it's fair to say that our specialty, as it were, would be the Eminem repertoire that we pull off. Now, Cassidy is a rap goddess. I think it's probably fair to say, for those of you watching at home, honestly, Cassidy can do it. You know, she can do it much better than I can. And I've been listening to Eminem since I was 9 years old. You know, so yeah, Cass, I'm not surprised to hear you pull it all off.
Thank
it's always
you very
a pleasure.
much. I do miss the what would you call it? Our karaoke sessions. I
think session would be a fair way of summing it up. Yeah, session is one way of describing it. You might.
Yes, we always blow people away with our Eminem, and I have to say, I think that was like a defining moment for me. That I was like, all right, we're peoples, because we were like the only ones that were like, this is Eminem. Do you not get it?
Do you guys not? Why is no one else trying to grab the mic from me right now? Like, you should all want to sing Eminem.
Yeah.
But no,
sit down and just enjoy, guys.
Represent. Yeah. But you know, we won't go too far down that route, because this is, of course, about you, not me. So we'll leave the Eminem.
I thought you were jigging me out for a duet.
Well, you know, we maybe could finish the night on one. We'll see how. We might put the vote to the audience. We'll see. But one other thing I wanted to pick up on from that song you just did was not only, of course, the amazingly fast lyrical work, but also like the very I've forgotten the word for it now. It's the show band, not the show band, the big band, like the big band style. You know, very kind of jazzy, flappy, like big band style, which I know like exactly which I know plays very, very nicely into your very, very unique style. Like before the Marilyn Monroe thing. But alongside that too, in the kind of work you do on the style side of your persona, because you do all of your own makeup and beauty stuff, right? And your style is very pin-up. It's very unique. Like it speaks to that kind of golden age of entertainment. You know, it's great. We love it. Yeah. It looks wonderful. So I'm curious, like, tell us where that started with you. You know, like, what's the background? Is it a family thing? You know, is it, because I know you've been dancing and whatnot since you were very, very young. So take us way back, Cass. Take us way back to before you were Cassidy La Creme. You know, who are you? Where do you come from? Let's unpick this.
Well, okay, so I basically came out of the womb performing. My mom's a singer. My father is a stuntman.
Jazz hands.
Yes, jazz hands out of the womb.
That's very cool. I've never met anybody whose father was a stuntman, come to think of it. So that's pretty unique.
Well, yes, he's pretty damn awesome, and he has one leg. A one-legged stuntman.
Did he lose it doing a stunt? Do you mind my asking? Like,
he lost it on his lunch break on a film.
Oh my god!
Of all things, I was 4, so I don't remember it. But yeah, it was a big ordeal. It was not just the leg was only amputated due to blood loss. His entire pelvis was shattered in 9 places. He was basically like run over by the edge of a yacht on their way back from their lunch break, and broken arms, everything, many months of hospital, and the amputation due to blood loss. But it was amazing growing up with a father like that, because it gave you a lot less excuses for oneself. Didn't stop him.
Right,
So
I can imagine.
yeah.
No, it didn't. It's
Yeah.
like a badass. I mean, did he stay in the
Yeah.
he stayed in the industry? Like he kept doing his thing?
He's
Like was
still
he
in there
still in it? Man, this
to
guy
this
sounds cool.
day.
I would love to
Yeah.
drink a beer. I would love to drink a beer with your father. That'd be quite something.
We'll make it happen. Yeah, trust me. He is definitely one you want to have a drink with. He's got some stories, but it's just funny that I've just ended up going into the acting scene now at 32, but I never had an interest in it growing up. I had the perfect in, but it just wasn't really my thing. But my thing, I guess, was singing and dancing. I danced from 3. Mum was a singer, so I backed her up at gigs. And yeah, like I said, I worked in theme parks, and I moved to Germany. Alan was an assistant. I've done some things in life.
You've done something. So when do we get? So now that you've just got into acting, I think it's a perfect time to start thinking about the biopic. You know, when do we see the film? I'm just seeing it like in big golden letters. Just it's going to be Cassidy. You know, just or Cass on the poster, and
Can they
playing
have the light bulbs
starring
in the
you.
letters, please?
Oh yeah, I wouldn't have it any other way. Like that's the only way I
Naturally.
can see it. Written by, starring, theme song performed by,
Edited by.
the lady, promoted by, watched by.
Exactly.
Why not?
Yes.
Sure.
Yes. Exactly. That would be fun.
You were a magician's assistant. Did I just hear you correctly? Is that what you said?
Yes. Once upon a time, I went to Germany for 3 months and was a box jumper, as you would say, and was covered in a heap of bruises. I was like literally days past 18 and jumped on a plane with 4 days notice to a country I knew nothing about and spoke none of the language, and was like, yeah, sure, I'll go. Jumped on a plane and cried the whole way there, being like, what did I do? But it was super fun.
I bet. That must have been, and Germany's a pretty cool place. Like, it must have been a very, very interesting experience, to say the very least. I never knew they were called box jumpers, but that's the beauty of doing this gig. Like, I've learned something new literally every single day. So, wow, I'll take that one with me. Box jumping.
I can imagine. I can totally imagine. But basically, the Marilyn thing and the pin came around because everyone had always told me since I was young. Everyone used to tease me about being fair-skinned. I was always bullied because I grew up on the Gold Coast, which is a beach town. And so everyone's like, oh my God, you look like you're dying. But then adults would be like, oh my God, you would be the perfect Marilyn Monroe. And I got it my whole life up until the point that I ended up working at a theme park as her. And I just had always been obsessed with vintage glamour. So now it has, I guess, synergized. And I had the balls to actually dress that way, which is very hard, as you can imagine. I stand out like a sore thumb. So
yeah, but for all the right reasons, right? And besides, what's the alternative? Like, dress normally? How fucking boring is that? You know, like, honestly, fuck it. And I think you pull off like you pull off the look, which I mean, the adults were right. They had it right the whole time. Kids can be cruel, but the adults knew what they were talking about, because like really not many people could do what you do as well as you do, because it's not like there are plenty of like impersonators or what have you, but I mean you perform. You're a performer. You're not just an impersonator. You're not just like you're not a wax model. You know, you sing and dance with the best of them. So I think it's amazing. So from that, bringing it back to the performing side of things and the music and whatnot, when it comes to that kind of era, that kind of genre, that kind of style of song and whatnot, like, do you have a particular favorite? Like, what's your showstopper? You know, what is it that you love to whip out and perform like at a second's notice? Like, what do you feel like singing most of the time?
I would say the most requested would be anything by Marilyn Monroe. Show-wise, it's always Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, because it's the most glamorous. But at parties, it's Happy Birthday, Mr. President, of course.
Of course, yeah. Well, you know, Cass, if we were doing this in person, I might ask you to do the president one, because that'd be kind of fun, I got to admit. But I think, given given where we are and whatnot, perhaps
Yes.
I could request diamonds are a girl's best friend. Would that be
Oh,
acceptable to you?
yes. It's funny though, because I feel like you're going to see a different side of me now, because I can't help but like do the mannerisms and everything. It's like I go into
Oh,
work mode, and you've
that's
been to karaoke with me, but you haven't seen that before.
that's true. That's true. I actually haven't seen stage Cassidy, so I'm kind of looking forward to
No,
this. Actually, I'm going to double down and ask for it. Yeah, I'm going to double down and say yes, please. Like, I really want to
pour
see that.
yourself a
That's all.
stiff drink, sir.
No, it is Thursday after all. I probably should be drinking. Usually, I am for the 8 p.m. sessions, but I'm out of booze. It's been a
Oh,
long lockdown. I
I thought you were
know.
going to say I didn't need it with you. I'm energizing enough, but all right, you're out of alcohol.
Oh, yeah, same thing.
Oh, heartbreak. No, it's fine. It's all right. I'll sing for you anyway. All right, let me find
Go,
this song. Okay, it's
use
been a while.
use the
Yes.
emotion. Go to that place, Cass. Use that emotion.
Okay. Show Cassidy
Capture it.
on. Summon her. Marilyn. Oh, the French are glad to die for love. They delight in fighting duels. But I prefer a man who lives and gives expensive jewels. A kiss on the head may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. A kiss may be great, but it won't pay the rental on your humble flag, or help you at the automat. Men grow cold as girls grow old, and we all lose our charms in the air. But square cut or pear shape, these rocks don't lose their shape. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Tiffany's, Cartier, Black Star, Frost, Gold. Talk to me, Harry Winston, tell me all about it. There may come a time when a lass needs a lawyer, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. There may come a time when a hard-boiled employer thinks you're awful nice, but get that ice or else no dice. He's your guy when stocks are high, but beware when they start to descend, 'cause that's when those louses go back to their spouses. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. I've heard of affairs that are strictly platonic, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. And I think affairs that you must keep lasagna are better bets. Woo! If little bets get big baguettes, time rolls on and youth is gone, and you can't straighten up when you bend. But stiff back or stiff knees, you'll stand straight at Tiffany's. Diamonds, diamonds. I don't mean rhinestones, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Oh, I'm gonna blow you one back. That was marvelous. And you know what, Gus? I've got to say, you're right. I've not seen that. I've not seen the stage side to you before. But now that you've just shown it to me, I kind of regret not having asked you earlier, or at
I
least
was
having come
holding
to a
it
show.
back. You got a touch of show, Cassidy. Keeping it back.
Oh wow. Okay. Like, well, I guess this, you know, this isn't a paid gig after all, so you've got to keep
Hey.
save the best for the best after all. But
Yeah, you gotta have
man,
like,
that is
wig in there.
and the white dress and the pearl, the heels.
I've got
Yeah,
the
you
white
can't
dress
be
in my
mad. You
room.
can't. I'm sure you've got plenty of white dresses in your room. Like you got Monday Marilyn, Tuesday Marilyn, like spring cleaning Marilyn. Like you've got it all there. You just like that's how things are done.
I
But
was
that was
Elsa
incredible. I think
yesterday
just
too, so
so you really go for the print, like for the blonde princess Keiko. I mean, Marilyn wasn't technically, but let's face it, she was a bit of a princess. So yeah,
well,
you've got your niche and you're owning it.
well, it was for charity. It was for charity. I was doing a wish for a wish child. I do a lot of work with Make a Wish Malaysia. I used to work for Make a Wish Australia as well. So yes, I was doing a little
Really?
Elsa message.
Oh,
But
beautiful.
yeah, trust me, I've
Cute.
done many
Okay.
a princess in my time.
Oh, that. Oh, that's beautiful. So the charity work you were doing in Malaysia as well, or is it like it
Yeah.
was an Australia thing?
Yeah, I do
Wow.
a lot of charity work in Malaysia. I just don't often post too much about it. I just selectively choose.
Well, I think that's nice. It's refreshing. Like a lot of people seem to think that it doesn't count as charity unless you post about it. You know, so it's actually
Yeah.
kind of nice to keep these things under wraps sometimes and just do it. You know, for the sake of, well, not just for the sake of doing it, but do it for the right reasons. Is Cass still with us, or I think she might have frozen. Hang on a sec. Cass, are you there? Can you hear me? We seem to have had a couple of technical difficulties there. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Cassidy seems to have frozen on us. So I'll give her a couple of minutes to log in and out. I think that might be the issue here, but she still seems to have frozen on my screen, and I'm not sure what is going on. But I'm getting a little white circle which is
Sorry.
spinning around, which usually means that something is refreshing. So let's hope she's back. There she goes. Hey, Cass.
Sorry,
We lost you there.
I don't know what happened.
That's all right. We lost you there for a sec, but not to worry. It happens. Unfortunately, virtual events are cool, but you know you can't always typically when you want something to work, it doesn't work, right? So technology is like that sometimes. It's such is life.
Yeah.
So I'm curious. Like when it comes to performing. Or having performed in Malaysia for a few years, you mentioned the corporate gigs, the government gigs, which must have been interesting, the corporate gigs too. And I know that you were doing a little bit of work at Susie Wong's, right? The cabaret bar in KL in the last few months before this happened. So I was meant to come to one of those shows, but I was gutted to miss it. What are the kind of venues do you perform at in KL that you really enjoy? Like, I mean, like No Black Tie, for example. I know there's a very popular jazz spot. Have you played there before? Or have you played like small?
No, I haven't. No,
so
I just for Susie Wong, it was just like a monthly secret show, and I would only tell my friends about it. And the people who were in the know at Susie Wong would find out. But it would always be a crazy night. Like it would be awesome to watch. It was my favorite gig every month because it would be like I was playing with amazing live musicians, and everyone would start like very casually just holding a drink and sitting. And by the end of it, we would have them like going nuts, like the whole dance floor's full. So it was like really rewarding as a performer. You know, Malaysian audiences are quite reserved and quiet. So, you know, you tend to get like a mix of people in there to party, and you get a lot of expats. And it was just like, you get like insane reinforcement that you kind of need as a entertainer, especially an Australian entertainer.
Especially as an Australian, full stop, you need that energy. You know, entertainment or not. But I mean, I can only imagine. I guess that's a lot of that is a huge part of doing why you do what you love to do and whatnot. Like feeding off the energy. I mean, there's a reason. Like, there's a reason you're not just in the booth the whole time or whatever. You know, like performing is and always has been. It sounds like in your blood. So I can only imagine the energy from an audience like that must be a wonderful thing to encourage, to create. not just to feed off, but to create it in the first place. You know, that must be an amazing process to see. Oh, she's frozen again. Oh, sorry, guys. Hang on a sec. I'm not. Again, we apologize, ladies and gentlemen, for the minor technical difficulties we seem to be experiencing. We'll give Cassidy a couple of minutes to return. Until then, well, we'll just have to wait because I'm certainly not going to sing for you, unfortunately. Not when she sets the bar that high. Hey, you're back. Thank God.
I don't know what's going on. I'm sorry.
That's all right. That's no problem. I was just telling the audience that like there's no other thing for it but just to wait, because to fill the gap while you're looking back on, I'm not going to sing. Like I can't do anything. Oh, I could have Eminem'd. I think I need more. If I had that drink you were talking about, then maybe I would have given them something. But I'm far too sober for Eminem right now. We have had, so by the way, guys, just for the audience at home, we've got about 10 minutes or so of the session left to go. We've got a comment here from a Facebook user. I can't see their username, unfortunately, but they're asking about Ombak Rindu. Now, unfortunately, you're a little bit late for that one because we had Cassidy sing that. That was the first song Cassidy performed at the beginning of the session, because indeed that was the first song that made her made her the Cassidy we know and love today. So we've done Ombak Rindu, but I'm wondering, Cass, like, I don't know what this Takmul Bersama song is, but is it a song that you know? Is it a song that you can sing?
I do know it. I just covered it. So I can't see who the Facebook user is, but thank you. You obviously do follow me. So I can sing a little bit of it.
Felicia Wong. Thank you. Felicia, thank you so much for your comment. There we go. So good choice. Yeah, shout out to Felicia. Good choice, but unfortunately we've already had Ombak Rindu, so I think we'll ask Cass to sing Tak Mungkin Bersama.
I'll sing a little of this one. It's actually, I did it as a duet with the original artist. I'm just seeing where I put the track. I can't find the track, so I'm just going to sing a little bit of it a cappella without music, if that's okay. I'll just sing a chorus.
Ooh.
Yes.
What's what? Cock a beat. I'll go a cappella. I think that's what Eminem says.
A cappella. Exactly. So Felicia, I'll just sing you the chorus.
Sorry, Felicia's happy.
Hang on, hold up. Okay, I got the lyrics wrong. Let's do it again. Oh mengapa kau tinggalkan aku seperti ini, saat aku masih berharap cinta ini masih bertahan untuk kita. Oh mengapakah kau membawa semua kenangan indah bersama kita dulu, kini berakhir untuk selamanya. There you go.
Wow. I have no idea what you just said, but it sounded wonderful.
Well, thank you. I question what I'm saying sometimes too. It's not a natural translation in my brain whilst I'm singing, so a lot of it's memorization.
No, I can imagine that the mental gymnastics you go through to pull this off must be quite something. Actually, but it does remind me though, on a slightly different note, if you'll pardon the pun. In fact, no, don't pardon the pun. That's a brilliant pun. I'm going to hang on to that one for the next live music night. But if on a slightly different note, what can we expect from the single when it is released? What kind of vibe? What kind of mood? What kind of energy? What genre? What are we working with here? Like, what can we look forward to hearing?
Been 3 years since I released a single, and the reason is that I was working with a label, and when you're young, you go through those like, oh, well, they'll tell me what to sing and they'll tell me what my style is. And after the label and I parted ways, I was really like searching for my sound. And I actually have had this song for 7 years in my pocket. And
Wow.
yeah, a friend of mine happened to get engaged to a producer. We met, and I was telling him my struggles, that I couldn't find anyone to help me develop this sound. And this song was like, I was like, I have a song. I just had an instinct, like, to show it to him. And literally, we had the song done in weeks. It is retro modern pop, we will call it. There's no genre for it. It's a little bit of
Okay.
1950s. It's a little bit of modern. It's a little bit of K-pop in there. It's a bit of everything, but it is
Ooh.
in Malay, and it will also be coming out in 2 other languages in the future. So there's a bit of a plan for this one, but it's very authentically me.
Well, it sounds like it, and as unique as you are too. And I'm very interested to hear how you're going to blend 50s with K-pop. Like that sounds like
Uh-huh.
that sounds like one hell of a song. So I can't wait for that. So when I know the music video got a bit stuffed up there, but what about the single itself? Is that scheduled for release in the next couple of months, or what's the story?
Yes, June 10th.
June 10th. All right, people, you heard
Yes,
it here first. This is
you
world
did hear it
exclusive,
here first.
world exclusive, official, news here only, exclusive news. That wasn't English, but I'm so excited I can barely form my sentences. But you all heard it here first, people. And stay up to date with all of the news and the updates regarding that. Cassidy's first single for 3 years, which I'm sure is going to be an amazing piece of work. Follow the Instagram down below, and I'm sure they'll find all of the information there that they need to. I mean, how will it work? Will it go up on? Will it be on Spotify? Will it be on Apple Music? Like what? All of these
Yeah,
things.
it'll
So
be
coming
everywhere.
soon.
Coming soon. Lyric video also finally has come together how I want it. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so it's taken me a while, but now it's one of those things where I'm releasing something that I love so much that I don't care how it goes, if that makes sense. I don't care. It's not about how many views. I'm just so proud of it, and it's so 100% me. So what will be, and I cannot wait to share it with people.
We're very looking forward to see it. We're very much looking forward to it. Well, I was about to say seeing it, but that sounds insensitive now because you're not doing a music video. So we're very much looking forward to hearing it. And
Not
then
doing a music
we can
video yet. You can't stop me. If I'm
yeah,
doing it in 3 languages, there will be a music video.
there will be. Yeah, I have no doubt. And I think that, and you're absolutely right, Cass. Like I think your career, your experience, and your journey so far to date has shown that certainly you cannot be stopped. So we wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you,
We have
babe.
Of course, no, I can't wait to see it. I think, I mean, 3 languages. I mean, most people struggle to do it in 1, but I think that's very, very impressive. We
I could
have
make it 5. Let's go.
what would they? I mean, did you pick up much? Did you pick up much German while you were over there? By the way, out of
No,
interest, was yeah.
no.
So you
I
just
can ask for something, and that's it, and say my precious, because Lord of the Rings was popular at the time.
there are there are ways to learn languages, and there are ways to learn languages, and you picked a way. Like, but hey, Lord of the Rings was huge. We can't deny that. All right,
Yeah,
Cass,
I
look, we
don't
have
do
a couple.
anything as it's meant to be done.
And you know what? That's why we love you for it. Like, I mean, we wouldn't have it any other way, and I'm sure you wouldn't either.
Thanks,
Look,
babe.
we've got a couple of minutes left of the session, I'm afraid, so we're gonna have to wrap up soon. But I think there's time to play us out. I think if you want to give us like a quick, if you want to sing us to sleep, as it were. I know it's a bit later where you are, so again,
Sure.
we really, really appreciate you coming on the show. I think
Thank
you're a couple of
you.
hours ahead. So guys, it's past Cassidy's bedtime, so we're extra grateful for her coming in and and playing for us this
I'll
evening. So
stay
thank you
up.
for that. So if you want to
My
sing us,
pleasure.
honestly, I'm blushing. You can't see because
Oh,
you can't see because I've got a tan, but I am blushing really. Uh, but by all
oh
means,
my God,
Cass,
I love it.
play us out a lovely note to end the night on, I suppose. What do you
Okay.
have for us?
I'll sing you a lullaby on the way out then. Let's sing something slow. You choose. Do you want Stay With Me? Um, who's the original artist? Sam Smith, or do you want We Are the Champions by Queen?
Ooh, that is a tough choice. let's put it. Let's see if the audience will vote on this, guys. In the comments below, the Facebook video or the YouTube video, if you're watching it there, vote for either "Stay with Me" by Sam Smith or "We Are." I mean, "We Are the Champions" is a pretty rousing little number. It's not. It's less
right.
another.
Slow.
Yeah, I guess I was gonna say that it's more
like empowering and heartbreak. Which do you want to end your day with, right?
The perfect bedtime recipe, I suppose. Yeah, I want to go to bed crying, but with a clenched fist. Yeah, it kind of works. That's been a mood all lockdown, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
What I mean, I think my vote, because we haven't had anybody comment below, I guess, and so in the interest of time, I guess I'm still trying to decide. I will go for Sam Smith. If that's all right. I think it's
Sam
like
Smith.
a nice.
Do it. All right, let's do a retro Sam Smith as we get out of here. So thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No, thank you, Cass. No, honestly, the pleasure has been very much ours, and from all the way from Melbourne, and later in the evening as you are, it's really nice of you to come and share this with us, and not just sing for us, but also tell us all about your plans and your professional experiences, your journey. It's been a really, really entertaining hour for me. So I thank you for that.
Thanks, babe. I appreciate it. All right. Well, my song dedication, this is for you, for Jacob, who needs a little love, I guess, in COVID-19 times.
Yeah, you know what? I feel like I do.
Yeah. This one's for you. Sending you lots of love.
I'm honored.
Yes, it's true. I'm not good at a one-night stand, but I still need love. Would you be that man? These nights never seem to go to plan. I don't want you to leave. Would you hold my hand? And won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. And darling, stay with me. Why am I so emotional? Oh no, this is not a good look, ain't some self-control. And deep down I know this doesn't work, but you can lay with me so it doesn't hurt. And won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. And darling, stay with me. And won't you stay with me? Because you're all I need. This ain't love, it's clear to see. Darling, stay with me. And won't you stay with me? 'Cause you're all I need. Yeah. This ain't love, it's clear to see. And darling, stay with me. And darling, stay with me. Thank you very much.
No, Cassidy, honestly, thank you. I feel just a little bit better. In fact, more than a little bit. I feel a lot better now. Thank you very much. That was beautiful. So, and then I think long distance cuddle. Oh, we miss you, Cass, and we hope. I mean, I know travel's looking a bit of a bummer right now. I know that Australia are kind of clamping down and whatnot, but we
Yeah,
hope that as soon as we possibly can, we get to see you back on these sandy shores once again. But
I
until
sure
then,
hope
of course,
so.
from a distance, we'll wish you the very best of luck. So June 10th, everybody watching at home, that's when Cassidy's long-awaited single will be coming out, available soon in 3 languages, but across all major streaming platforms, exclusively to a platform near you. June 10th, that is. And like I said, one quick final plug. Follow Cassidy's Instagram, Cassidy La Creme, for all of the information you need coming right up. So, Cass, that is about all the time we have for tonight. So we'll say goodnight now. And I didn't catch her name. I feel almost rude. How
Belle.
do I? Belle. Good night, Belle.
Good night.
Good night, Cassidy. And thank you again so much for coming on. And take care. All the best. Keep doing and keep. I mean, you've been busy on TikTok, I think it seems, right? You've been getting into that recently, so keep that up because it looks like you're having fun.
I just like torturing my family, so I will continue to do so.
You're doing a wonderful job. Keep it up. It's hilarious.
Thanks, babe. Thank you.
All
I
the
hope
best.
to catch you soon.
I hope so too. All the best to you, Cass. All right, we'll catch up. Take care. Thank you again.
Okay. Thanks, babe. Bye, guys.
Good night. Bye. Good night. Well, there we are. The wonderful Cassidy La Creme. And like I said, it is really not difficult to see why she has made such an impact on the Malaysian music scene. And we hope we get to see her back on that scene as soon as is safely possible, of course. So that wraps up the live music session for this evening and brings it with it to an end of day 4 of week 5. But we are back at the same time tomorrow night, 8 p.m. to round up the week, and we are welcoming Faraz Shababi, gaming influencer and content creator and gaming network host, who will be with us to talk all about e-gaming and the esports rather, and the mobile gaming industry, and also giving us a little bit of insight into combining his 2 passions in life, exercise and esports. So that'll be a very interesting conversation, I have no doubt. And I'll be here to welcome him tomorrow night, 8 p.m. So same time. We'll see you then. Stay safe, stay well, and if you can, stay indoors for now. Anyway, that's all from me. Good night. Take care.